Good people, what's going on? T Haynes, the Dome. Quick short episode, not really episode, but just a few thoughts. September the 11th, man. Jay-Z dropped Blueprint, 22 years ago? And I've been watching a lot of 9/11 videos. I do it every year because I was actually at the Twin Towers on 9/9. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely uh crazy when I think about 2 days later the towers went down, man. So rest in peace to everyone, man. And just still can't believe that we dealt with that, man. But yeah, Jay-Z dropped that day. The Blueprint. Some people call it his magnum opus. Some people call it his greatest overall piece of work, body of work. Do you think that? So I was thinking earlier, did the Blueprint make Jay-Z the greatest MC of all time? Is that the moment when people thought he was actually the greatest? Obviously, 96, Reasonable Doubt, Underground Classic. After that, Volume 1, which I actually think is a great album. But people kind of slept on it, or at first it was kind of lukewarm, talking about, he went commercial with it, but did he really? I mean, some of his greatest lyrics was on Volume 1. If you take off, I know what girls like, and what's that, Sunshine, maybe? But man, even the City's Mind is dope to me, man. But you're talking about Where I'm From, Crack Game, Rap Game, You Must Love Me, etc. Volume 1 is dope. Volume 2 made him a star. 98 with DMX, you know, headlining in 99 the Hard Not Life tour. 5 Million Souls, still his biggest album to this date. After that, Volume 3 was a banger in terms of what was the track? Big Pimpin' on there, and a lot of dope joints. Dope Man, So Ghetto. He killed that. Leading up to what was next, like the Dynasty album, and features, and he killing the streets, man. He killing the clubs. He's killing airwaves everywhere. And in comes Summer Jam. Did some Prodigy. Asked Nas, you don't want to Hove. Was that when Jay-Z said, you know what? I've been sitting on this Nas situation for a minute. I'm going to blast on him and Mobb Deep. Big challenge with Nas. Obviously, he always had a lot of respect for Nas, using his sample on Dead Presidents. Rumor was AZ and Nas supposed to be on, I don't know if it was Bring It On or another track on Reasonable Doubt. But with the Blueprint, was this the album that Jay-Z solidified himself to some fans as the greatest MC of all time? I mean, he had already put him, but said, hey, I done held you down for 6, 7 summers. You know what I'm saying? Big albums. He's probably, during the time the Blueprint dropped, Jay-Z was the king of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like it or not. I mean, obviously we can say later on that couple of months later, Nas dropped Stillmatic, Ether, and The Battle, and they had about 10 different songs and freestyles against each other. To be honest, it wasn't a takeover against Ether. That was not just it. You had, like I said, the Stillmatic freestyle. You had Jay-Z doing a joint over Ludacris beat on BET. Yeah, People Talking. Yeah, the Eye for an Eye freestyle with Nas. You had Star Wars. You had, to me, Come and Get Me, and Come and Get Me on Volume 3, and then Nas had Come Get Me or whatever on Nostradamus. They had a lot of joints with each other, but that was like two heavyweights. And when the takeover came out and Blueprint came, dropped, some people thought Nas was done. You know what I'm saying? Then you had Girls, Girls, Girls. You had H to the Izzo. I mean, 5 mics in the Source, 5 stars in a lot of different magazines and publications. Was that the moment when Jay-Z became the greatest MC of all time for a lot of people? Was the Blueprint one the height of his career, or was it a Black Album? Because some people thought the Black Album was going to be his final album. I never thought that. So some people thought the Black Album, after that ended, he was the greatest then. But some people think the Blueprint was when Jay-Z became the greatest MC of all time. You know what I'm saying? So You Don't Know in the clubs. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, H to the Izzo and Girls, Girls on BET and on the radio. You know what I'm saying? They going up to Hot 97 doing freestyles, and Jay-Z just kind of like sitting back like the Don, letting all his guys go at everyone. You know what I'm saying? The only chink in the armor was going up to the station doing Super Ugly. You know what I'm saying? But he redeemed himself with People Talking, produced by Ski. Shout out to Ski. Then of course the Blueprint 2 track on the Blueprint 2 was a heater. That was the one that would have been released after the takeover. That Nas battle could have ended up a lot different. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, did the Blueprint put Jay-Z as the number one MC of all time to you? Did you feel like anything else was necessary after the Blueprint to solidify his position? If you think, if you think he's the greatest, you know what I'm saying? I often wonder because the Blueprint was monstrous when it came out. That production, Bink, Kanye, Just Blaze. I mean, he really hit on all cylinders. And then he ended the joint with My Mama, Mama Loves Me. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing else I think you could have added to the Blueprint. You could say Jigga That Nigga could have been taken off, and you could have thrown in, I don't know if Addicted to the Game had been recorded yet, or earlier this morning had been recorded yet. Yeah, that March of the Hollywood came out maybe before that, a couple years before that. You might have could have taken that song off, but outside of that, man, I mean, and again, like I always said, most classics have at least one song that people might not like. So Jigga That Nigga was the one I didn't like on Blueprint 1. But again, like Graduation, I didn't like Drunk Hot Girls. Ready to Die, I didn't like. Friend of Mine, you know what I'm saying? So not liking one song on the album doesn't take away from classic status anyway. Blueprint is stellar. I think it's might be his most complete album in his discography, even though I think Reasonable Doubt is the rawest. You know what I'm saying? But what's your thoughts, man? September 11, Blueprint dropped, I believe, 22 years ago today. He definitely put a chokehold on the game for a minute with that album. You know what I'm saying? It helped push and ignite even further the greatest battle of all time between him and Nas. Stellar body of work, man. So did that make Jay-Z the GOAT to you, man? Quick thoughts, man. Peace.